Evening, everybody. It's 6:12 on this Wednesday afternoon, the 12th of July, and this is your closing comment. It is video number 1829. And if you missed it, the link is on the front of the daily note tonight and in the Discord room for the short video that I did giving some information about the trade that we're currently in sugar. Okay, so we had a lot of news this morning. And this afternoon too, we had the mortgage apps this morning. We had the CPI, core CPI, and the Fed's Beige Book. If you were out of touch all day, I'll let you know that the CPI came in up only 2/10 month over month, which was versus an expectation of 3/10. I really want to make the point here. The CPI was up. It wasn't down. It wasn't lower than expected. I mean, it was up less than expected, but was up nonetheless. So if you think you're not paying more for everything, you're just not paying as much more as you were month over month or year over year. The year over year number was up 3% versus up 3.1 expected. That means CPI was higher. I can't make it any clearer. Core CPI was up 2/10 versus an expectation of up 4/10, ex food and energy. Um, so that's a pretty decent number, unless you happen to have to drive or eat. The year over year number was up 4.8, which is down from the expectation of up 5, or the actual number for year over year of up 5. But again, it's still up. As far as the Fed's Beige Book, which came out at 2 o'clock, I believe, um, the market liked it, moved higher, and the Beige Book showed economic activity increased slightly. Other points there was that employment increased modestly for the period, with most districts showing job growth. Labor demand remained healthy. Contacts reported that hiring was getting more targeted and selective. Employees continue to have difficulty finding workers, particularly healthcare, transportation, and hospitality, and of course, skilled positions, which is always an issue. So prices increased moderately, um, and the districts noted a slowing in the pace of increases. So, we're talking about two different things here. We're not talking about CPI or actual tomorrow PPI. We're talking about the rate of change, not the actual numbers. And so there's a big difference there. Okay, so tomorrow we have PPI, core PPI. We have, it's Thursday, so it's claims day. So we get continuing and initial claims. We also get nat gas inventories not till 10:30, and the June Treasury budget at 2 o'clock. Again, going to be a huge number, going to be a negative number, probably around the 250 billion area. As far as employment claims, they're looking for about 248,000. Claims in that same 1.72 area. June PPI is supposed to be 2%, 0.2% versus minus 0.3 last month, and core to be about unchanged at 0.2%. I'm not going to give you a lot of stock information. Everybody knows pretty much what happened, although I will tell you that regardless of the fact that we were higher, in the Dow, we were 250 points off the high and closed pretty much on the low. Advanced declines there were 5 to 2 to the upside, so still decent internals. Nasdaq was up 158. It was the leader, up 1.15. Closed about 2/3 up on its range, and advanced declines were 7 to 4. Still pretty healthy. The volume was 5.2 billion, which is exactly the same as yesterday. The S&P was up almost 33, about 0.75%. The Russell up 2002, which was the number 2 mover on the day, up 1.05. And the transports, which were up all day, came in and closed down on the day, pretty much on the low, down about 25. The VIX was 1354, down $1.30, or 8.76%. Okay, so Nvidia did a deal with a company called Recursion. The symbol is RXRX. They did essentially a $50 million pipe investment, and that was huge for Recursion, which had closed. Let's just see. RXRX. Okay, this stock had closed at $6.78 and traded up as high as $15, $14.99 actually. The last is 1207. That's up $5.21 or 76%. This is a huge deal for them. And Nvidia also was in the news this morning, talking about being in negotiations to be an anchor investor in the new Arms Holdings IPO. They wanted to buy the company, and there was too much from the regulators in order for them to do that. Also, there was a company, VSAT, that would be ViaSat. They are a communication equipment company, and they had a problem today. The stock had closed at 42.98, down 73 cents, and they had what they called an unexpected event on a new satellite. Unexpected event with reflectors. Um, they say they are working with the manufacturer of those reflectors to see if there's a workaround. This is a huge problem for some of these companies. I mean, it doesn't state how much the satellite was or what it costs to put it into space, but the fact that it's not working for satellite communications for both streaming services, phone services. I don't know if this is the company that Apple uses for their location by satellite, but it's a problem. The stock immediately traded down. This was after the close, traded down to 33.40, and the last is 35.03. That's down $8.68 or 20%. At the low, I think it was down about 22%. Okay, just a quick look at the sectors. On the upside today, we were actually mixed all day. Um, on the high end, we had the metals, the financials, energy, AI, and the mega caps, of course. On the downside, this was kind of a surprise. There were, in my entire sector, there were no airline or cruise lines up. They were all down. The defensive, food service, and food supply chain business also down. Pot down. Retail down. And defense down. The only two that were actually really mixed were biotech and infrastructure, and they were leaning on the short side also, on the downside. So there you have it. We had great action today in the oil up 92 cents. Nat gas was down 9 cents. We'll see what that build or draw looks like tomorrow. We had the gold higher by 25. We had the silver higher by three times that on a percentage basis. Gold was up a percent or so. Silver was up 4.2%. 24.31 up $1.03. Bitcoin was down 360 after being up 500. Um, the dollar was down 120, and the bonds, which is the chart on the screen, the bonds were a big move higher here. We actually covered it. I don't like to pat myself on the back too much, but we sold the TBTs towards the end of the day on Friday, turned around and sold the balance of them on Monday against that low. And as you can see, we rallied from 122.30 all the way up to 126 today. So those options, they were sold at about the $1.40 level, and I think they closed around 56 cents today. So there you go. I'll be back in the morning.